Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to tonight's presentation of the United States Online Racing League USORL's race at the Richmond Raceway in beautiful Richmond, Virginia. I am your host, JoeTowNetwork. Alongside me, as per usual, is Mr. Tommy Bordeaux. Welcome back into the booth, Tommy.
Thanks, Joe. Thanks for having me. It's nice to be up back in the booth after taking the Tuesday off to go race a little bit in New Hampshire.
Yeah, and we'll get into that later tonight because I have a feeling we might have some downtime throughout this event. Richmond is a very tricky track for these drivers, but before we get into that, let's talk about our playoff standings. So you'll see them flash up on your screen. The playoff standings going into tonight at Richmond. It is race 2 of the round of 10. You heard me right, the round of 10 here in USORL for the Red Bull Cup Series. There you see all of the drivers that are going to be in your playoffs. Steven Merzlak is out front right now, 18 points to the good. So is Cal Lavelle. Garrett Sidner there in third, 15 points. Darren Ingram plus 10. Trey Coleman plus 9. Jeff Dixon plus 3. Zach Krastowski plus 3. And then Davey Hazard, your buddy, Tommy, he's right there on the bubble at plus 1.
Yeah, Davey had a tough race at Talladega. Really up and down kind of race for him. He found himself at the top of the pack, then had an issue with his game crashing, and then went to the back and back up again, only to have his engine blow within sight of the finish. So, unfortunately for Davey Hazard, a tough first race of the round of 10. But for him, tonight at Richmond is an opportunity to bounce back and build that lead to the cut line.
Yeah, then we see the two drivers right now that are outside. They're within striking distance, though. Noah Joyce in that 39 machine and Cam Barnes in the 20. Out of those two, who do you think could probably make the biggest impact tonight and get back up into that top 8?
Well, here at Richmond, I say one of the biggest things you're going to need here is patience. This race is going to have a lot of cars on a small track, very tight racing, so you got to be patient. And I think a driver we've seen be patient all season long has been that 39 of Noah Joyce. But on raw pace alone, Cam Barnes is a very fast driver, so if he can keep it together, he might have a great opportunity here tonight to put himself in those top 8 to move to the next round. But of course, Joe, this race, 200 laps here at Richmond, anything can happen.
Yeah, and anything will happen tonight. Anything that you think, anything that is possible can happen tonight at Richmond. It's going to be a great show. 200 laps this evening. It's going to be a long one for you, and we're so glad that you're joining us here on JTN, on YouTube. If you haven't already, click the like button. Show us that you support us. Hit subscribe if you feel so inclined to do so. Really excited to bring you guys this coverage. Thank you to Mr. John Peterson for bringing us on and all the guys at USORL. We are so excited to bring this to you tonight.
Yeah, this is a great opportunity to showcase one of the leagues on NR 2003 that has a very strong base. You're here for this playoff race kind of deep into the season. We have a huge field here at Richmond tonight, and it's also a special event race here. Being Richmond, we have some short track cars under the lights, painted up as people's favorite bands, albums, and musical artists, ranging all the way from Aerosmith to Kanye West to Drake, My Chemical Romance, and everything in between. So it's a fun night with a lot of fun cars out here, and we should see a lot of fun action. Here for the USORL Federated Auto Parts 250, race number 2 of the round of 10 in the USORL Red Bull Cup Series here on JTN.
And Tommy, you did a great job there, getting all of those sponsors in there. Federated Auto Parts 250, even though it's 200 laps, a little confused on that, but, I'm not a math major, so what do I know?
No, neither am I, but, I'll tell you what, these guys, they have their own kind of math. This league is one of its own, and these drivers, I know they have some great personalities. So yeah. Hopefully later tonight, when the checkered flag falls, we'll get to interview 3 of them, the top 3 finishers, and see what their personalities are all about.
Yeah, really excited about getting to do that, because these guys, a lot of them you haven't heard of before if you've been tuning in here on JTN. Tuesday nights at 9 for the Dash Series, the Fast Dash Series, but tonight there's a lot of new faces that I'm not as familiar with. I know you got a lot of experience racing here at USORL. I've only started recently with the Friday Night ARCA Series. Another thing, if you want to check out the United States Online Racing League, there is a link at the top of the description, or it should be close to there, that'll take you right to their SMS page where you can sign up and get more information about racing here in NR 2003. Thank you so much. We got so many viewers this evening so far to this point, and hopefully you stick around with us throughout the night. It might be a long night. It could be a really short night because 200 laps here at Richmond can go by pretty quickly.
Yeah, when you get in a groove here at a short track, if you get long green flag runs, boy, the laps just tick away so fast. I mean, in qualifying, our pole speed set by Garrett Sidnor in the 16 was about a 20.172-second lap. So if laps can be there within the 20 to 23-second range, this thing's going to fly by. But I'll tell you what, Joe, anything can happen if we get some yellows, which likely we will at some point. That can slow this race to a crawl. And, of course, any driver who has a fast car doesn't want to see that.
Yeah, and for the fans at home, Tommy, you mentioned Garrett on the pole. Why don't you take us through the rest of the starting lineup?
Absolutely, Joe. Well, starting on the pole, like I mentioned, with a time of 20 seconds, .172, is the number 16 car of Garrett Sidnor, followed by the 14 of Trey Coleman. That makes up your front row right there. In third place in qualifying was Cal Lavelle, the number 12 car. And in fourth place, rounding out row number 2, the 20 car of Cam Barnes. We mentioned Cam at the beginning of the show here, under that cut line for the round of 10, but of course, he's looking to make a splash here in the second race of this round to make his way to those round of 8 drivers. Now, in row number 3, the number 4 car of Steven Merzlach, followed by the number 24 of Darren Ingram, too. Darren Ingram in the OVO Drake car. You might see that one out there on screen right now. Nice black with gold numbers and a beautiful machine out there. In row number 4, number 39 of Noah Joyce, another one of those drivers underneath that cut line, looking to make his way to the next round with a good showing here, hopefully. And number 33 of John Peterson, qualifying in 8th. Back in row number 5, the number 1 car, Zap Trzaskowski, with the number 51 of Matt Steelman, a qualified number 10th in the order. Now in row number 6, the 18 car of Ray Tustin and the 99 of Jesse Dalton. Next row, we have the 75 of Davey Hazard, a familiar name here on the JTN network. And Jack Healey in the number 77 car. Behind them, it's Alex Seufert in the number 2 and Jeff Dixon 2 in the number 38. Rounding out the field, we have the 07 of Jamie Zalecki, followed by the 78 of DJ Harris, and winding up qualifying last, setting no time, but still entering the race, is the number 41 of Michael Morata, one of the USORL guys who is also at Fast, and I tell you, a legend and a journeyman of the sport. And that's your starting lineup here for the Federated Auto Parts 250 from Richmond.
Yeah, now that you've gone through the lineup, I don't know if your pick's going to be on the track at the moment, but Tommy, who's your Autosim driver spotlight for this evening?
Well, Joe, I'm going to have to go with the number 14 car of Trey Coleman. Now, there's a couple reasons why. Let me explain. First of all, qualifying second, we know he has that short run pace. And Trey Coleman's been really good lately with that short run pace. Now, if he can translate that to long run speed, I think he's going to have a really good shot at this win if we get a long green flag run. But let me mention something. On Monday night, USORL held the Lights race here. It's a lower division series to test the tracks out for that Saturday night race. And the winner of that race, Trey Coleman in that number 14 car. So I think he has a great shot at winning this thing, Joe. If he was an Autosim driver on my team, I think there's no stopping us. We'd be very successful.
Well, yeah, and you got the great mix of youth and talent there with Trey. Autosim is a new frontier in simulated racing. Autosim 6.1 is currently now available. You can check out the link in the description. Just go to their website where you can download the game, give it a good old looky-loo. You can also check out some videos here on this channel that may show you what the game looks like and how you play it. Join the Autosim Discord as well with that link on their website. Download the game Autosim, a new frontier in racing, as we're junking it up in turn 4 in practice. You know, happy hour. I don't think some of those drivers might have thought it was the other type of happy hour, but you know, get these last laps in.
The Autosim series you have on your channel, I've checked it out, and I've got to say it's getting quite a bit of traction, just like a new set of Goodyear tires, which, Joe, let's talk about that. That's going to be very important at this race. Tires on a short track mean a lot.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, as a driver, you know, you're going to be wanting to come to pit road every single opportunity, but with these guys, they're going to have to really balance, you know, that track position, too. We've seen this Richmond track. The tire wear sometimes just isn't there. It's not that bad at points, depending on how you drive the car, so seeing if guys can maybe save their tires a little bit if we get a bunch of short runs at the start of this race due to cautions and drivers being drivers and being over aggressive. So, I mean, Tommy, you talk about really, getting a lot of traction with those Goodyear tires. How long do you think they're going to be able to go here for a run?
Well, Joe, it's all going to have to depend on how much they can make on fuel, and I think you're going to see fuel be the issue before tires are an issue, and that's really going to be the key. So, as far as fuel goes, these drivers can make about 60 laps, maybe 65 if they really stretch it and if they're saving. So with that window, that should allow people to make quite a long run. But by the end of that run, even with lesser tire wear, Joe, we should still see that make a factor and affect the times going down at the end of a long run like that. And that is, of course, providing we do get a long green flag run.
I would like to mention real quick, you're going to see at the top of our screen, it's going to say that this race is 200 laps. But, Tommy, I think these USORL guys, I think they want to go for a little longer than 200 tonight.
I believe it is, Joe. Looks like it's 250, just as the Federated Auto Reports name implies. So these guys not only are going to go 250 laps, but they also, Joe, have a fantastic opportunity. There's the call for engine starting. And these cars get fired up right now. Joe, it's a fantastic opportunity in NR 2003. These guys actually do a green-white checkered setup, just like real-life Cup racing. So we should see some very exciting finishes if it gets to that point. And if not, I mean, who knows what this race could hold. So here the cars go, rolling out of pit road. You can hear them there. And we got a big field tonight, Joe, I got to say.
And we got a big field, and we're going to hope that the good old JTN computer system can hold up here. Already see some screeching of tires there from the 4 car and some bumping and banging down the back stretches. We're going to be going through turns 3 and 4. The pace car will make its way off the speedway. You see the whole field rolling on by. Garrett Sidner is going to lead him down to the green with Trey Coleman on his outside, a Ford teammate right behind him in Cal Lavelle. As they're waiting. Green flags in the air. We're underway racing here at Richmond.
We'll have to see how the high line works on the initial start for Trey Coleman up there. Now, I want to mention real quick at this start, if a caution happens within the first 5 laps, we will get a race restart, which means a clean restart, clean slate. But so far, guys, we're getting through it. Trey Coleman really hanging tough on that outside line. He's going to challenge for the lead here on Sidnor.
Yeah, but Sidner's got the help. It might, in NR, having that little bit of push from a car behind you really does help, even at one of these short tracks. As the 12 washes up, almost makes contact with the 14 coming off turn 2.
Boy, they're racing real tight, really early, really exciting here as Sidnor has gotten the lead just a little bit away from Trey Coleman as Cal Lavelle's trying to look for that second spot on Trey Coleman down in the bottom of the track. It looks like Trey's stuck up out there on the outside, but of course, a long way to go. No reason to panic quite yet.
Well, yeah, nobody's going to be helping that 14 tonight. He's in the playoffs. You see all the red banners and spoilers right around him. Those guys know that they have to get by him to try to make up points. It's all about making up points on those playoff drivers if you're one of them. You see Cal Lavelle there, but the battle's still for third as Trey lets the 20 of Cam Barnes by. He'll slide into 4th.
I do want to mention, Joe, by the way, it's confirmation this is a 200-lap event. So we do have a lot of laps available for green-white checkers if we need them. So I want to make that clear that we are going 200 laps. So that counter you see up at the top of the screen, that is correct.
Hey, look at that. Score 1 for the graphics department doing their research here at JTN. Here you see Darren Ingram in that 24. He's got that NASCAR All-Star number format on that machine with Steven Merzlak right behind him challenging for that position.
Yeah, that raised a lot of noise this week in the NASCAR Cup Series. Looks like the 24 car looks pretty good, though, with it, I got to say, with that design. And no underglow, of course, in the back of that car, and maybe that's a good thing. Who knows?
Oh, God, that underglow. That was something. It was different. That's what we'll leave it at that. It was different. I don't think you'll be seeing that replicated here in NR anytime soon, though.
It's possible. There's a lot of interesting things you can do modding NR 2003. It's possible, but I think if we do get any underglow, it's going to be all the way around the car, and I hope it would be. Like I mentioned, we are through 5 laps, so right now, guys, this race is official, and Garrett Sidnor right now pulling away from the rest of the field.
Yeah, these drivers doing a great job as you see Davey Hazard moving to the inside of the 51 car, that My Chemical Romance car. Davey not in a musical-themed car. Getting to the inside of Steelman. But Merzlak looks like he drifted up right in front of Steelman. That's going to halt his momentum, and Davey's going to get the position.
Davey Hazard, like we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, struggled last week at Talladega, had an engine failure near the end, lost a lot of points, but he's still 1 point to the good to try and make it to the next round, with, of course, this race and next week at Kansas being the finale of this current round. So right now, Davey, trying to make that move on the inside of Steelman, and Steelman gets up high, and Davey makes the pass.
As we're now watching Noah Joyce moving to the inside of Steelman here. The 39, you got some beautiful paint schemes out here this evening. I'd just like to mention that. This 39 looks absolutely fantastic. He's another playoff guy that needs to have a good run. He was outside by a point behind Davey. He's got to try to stay in contact with that 75 all night.
Yeah, it's going to be important to him. And like you said, Joe, a fantastic car. That's one of my favorite albums ever, Kanye West's Ye album. And I'll have to say, if I'm Matt Steelman right now, it looks medicine and frightening, that 39 does, because he's looking for the pass early on here, and that 51 has been sliding backwards. He might need to find some help.
Yeah, and we talked about tires. Could that 51 have possibly used up his stuff a little bit too early here in this race?
He might have, Joe, but just as I said that, he was actually able to make that move on the outside of Noah Joyce, and now Jack Healey in the 77 Snickers machine coming to the outside.
Oh, it's Trey Coleman looks like he's in the wall. Coleman around in the wall. I don't know if that's not gonna be a yellow here. I do believe it would be a self-spin.
That's right. So far we stay green, and that's unfortunate. That's our Autosim driver spotlight of Trey Coleman.
Well, I mean, it worked for Joseph Weaver Tuesday night in a fantastic finish, with you helping him a little bit, but it doesn't look like it's gonna play out the same way for Trey here.
No, that's unfortunate, but of course, long race, he's got to keep his head down and keep going right now. I mean, it's important that you finish all 200 laps. He might fall a lap down just if this run keeps going, but I think he's still in a good position. He's got a fast enough race car. As long as there's not too much damage to that 14 machine, he should be okay.
Yeah, as the battle for second is starting to heat up here between Cal Lavelle and Cam Barnes. Barnes was closing the gap in on the 12, but now he's kind of backed off a little bit. This 20 car just gets such a great run into the corner and then through the center, but the 12 is just great off the corner.
Yeah, and I think you're seeing a difference maybe in driving style and setup. The 12 might be a little bit, slower into the corner, but getting that better exit out. I want to commend Cam Barnes, though. Back on Monday night for the lights race here at Richmond, boy, that 20 team was really struggling as we have a caution out on the racetrack here, Joe.
Caution is out. Looks like it might involve one of our playoff guys, Zach.
Yeah, quite a few involved.
Big damage for that one car here. We'll get you a replay.
Yeah, big damage to the left side and the roof of the one Exalta Chevrolet of Zach Kraskowski, and that could have some big chase implications. You saw the 07 also involved in that wreck too, looks like.
You'll watch, the 77 got loose off the corner. 07 had nowhere to go. 33, Zach just, I don't want to call it a plow because that has some bad connotations, but full throttle right into the side of the 07.
That's unfortunate because that looks like that's going to end the 07's night, or at least all but ended. Unfortunately for that team, they couldn't make it even to 20 laps of this 200-lap race. And wow, yeah, you look at that wreck on the front stretch. John Peterson involved. Wow, what a massive hit to that 07 car. I hope he's okay.
Yeah, we're going to get an onboard with Zach in this one car. You're going to see the contact up in front in the 07 and 33. They just, one car in the air, looking like Colton Herta last night in the IndyCar race at Iowa. But a tough break for Zach.
Boy, that was a terrible crash, and I just hope Jamie Zalecki in that 07 car is going to be okay. I mean, that was a huge wreck. You don't see wrecks like that every day. Man, that was such a hard impact. I don't know the fastest push in the circuit, too.
As everyone looks like everyone has come to pit road here. We're gonna get you.
Yeah, that's a smart move. There's no use in staying out and doing anything crazy right now. You got to get those 4 fresh tires on it. If anyone has damage, fix that as well.
Yeah, you're gonna see here's the pit line cam. We're gonna see all the drivers coming off. Sidner's gonna win the race off. Cal, Cam, Steve, and Merzlak, and just a whole slew of guys there. Well,
it looks like we have some official reports down from pit road. The number 07 car has indeed retired, could not get that car fixed up. And unfortunately, for the number 1 of Zach Krastowski, it's going to be an oil pump that let go in that car. Uh, you name it, you could have used that as a retirement excuse, because it looks like about everything might have been hurt on that car. But unfortunately for that team, that's going to be a big blow to them in the points.
And we'll see if they're going back green. I do not believe they are, so they should be should be going back green flag racing next time by. But did we get the 1 to go? That's another thing. We're ironing out some of our commentary with the league this
Yeah, we have
week.
a 1 to go here. So we'll pace back around, and then they'll have a manual restart in the restart zone. With Garrett Sidnor, of course, back in the lead. So that same top 3, the way they came into pit road is how they came out. But I want to mention that number 4 car, Steven Merzlak, in 4th place. He had a birthday yesterday. So happy birthday, Mr. Merzlak, one of my PTR teammates, and a great guy too, a phenomenal painter in the NR 2003 community and iRacing community. I got to say, if you want to check out some great graphics, go check out Steven Merzlak's paint shop. And Joe, you're pretty good at graphics too. What do you say, JoeTow Graphics?
JoeTow Designs. See, we had to do a rebrand.
Excuse me.
That graphics word's just, it's really harsh on the tongue, but we're going back into the restart zone. Green flags back out. Garrett Sidnor leads them down.
Well, speaking of designs, we got a lot of cool ones. We're going to go through later in this race and take a look at all these great paint schemes of the drivers who decided to participate in tonight's music event. As Cal Lavelle getting really squirrely out of 2 there.
And that's going to open the door for Cam Barnes to make his way to the inside. The 12 still getting loose. Driver behind the wheel of that car has his hands full.
Yeah, certainly does, although it looks like he's able to fight back on the outside. And we're slowing down for another caution out on the racetrack.
Looks like a big pile up on the front straightaway. You see the 14 of Trey Coleman, the 2, 99, 18. Everyone looks to be involved. We'll get you a replay here.
Well, that's unfortunate for Trey Coleman, of course, running up front, towards the front, started second in this race, and unfortunately for him, involved in some incidents early. And that one, he got quite a bit of rear end damage. You see the 2 car of Alex Suford also involved in that. Boy, that's unfortunate, because he is our Autosim driver spotlight tonight, and hopefully he'll be able to repair some of that rear end damage and get fixed and be out there. It's a long race, but if anyone can do it, it's him.
Yeah, as you saw the replay, it looks like Noah Joyce, he just gets loose in the middle of the corner, and that just stacks everybody up. Everyone running so close here, a lap after the restart. See John Peterson now on your screen with heavy rear end damage. Don't know if that was from the first incident or this one, but tough break for all these guys really early on in this race.
Yeah, looks like quite a few cars involved in some early incidents, including chase drivers. So yeah, hopefully those cars aren't too badly damaged. Although we have quite a few race cars that look like they are at a Saturday night short track, which essentially we are here at Richmond. So,
I mean, look, it's Steelman, Dixon, Steelman, Dixon, Peterson, Joyce, Coleman. Everybody is involved in this one. Oh my. Boys, we gotta settle down. Tommy, you gotta get on that radio over there.
Yeah, if I'm one of these team owners or crew chiefs, I'm telling them, don't worry about it. We got a long way to go. A little bit of give and take's important. I mean, yeah, you want to get all you can, and short tracks, track position's important, but let's take a look at Davey Hazard in that 75 car. Joe, he started near the back, but he's been methodically making his way up through the field. He's not in a rush. He's just doing it car by car, corner by corner, and right now he's found himself up in the top 5, so definitely take some notes from that 75 car. Work your way through the pack slow and steady. There's no need to really push the issue just yet and get yourself involved in an accident that could end your night before it even really begins.
And Davies does such a great job here. I mean, tough break last week at Talladega with the engine letting go on him. And not a great way to start this round of 10. You did hear me right, round of 10. We're going to show you up in the upper right hand, or not really the upper right hand, but right below our ticker on the right hand side. You're going to see the playoff drivers' numbers coming up, so that way you can keep track of all your favorites. All the guys run for the playoff. They are in the order that they were in points heading into this race. So that'll kind of give you a good feeling of where they are relative to each other. Noah Joyce involved in causing that last wreck, getting loose through the corner, and Zach Krastowski, who was involved in the first incident, both up there. So don't want to say put a red X through them for tonight, but definitely a lot of damage to those racing vehicles. Well, Zach's already out of the race.
Right, yeah, they'll have a long way to go. Unfortunately, Zach out of the race, like you mentioned. I mean, that's going to be a really big storyline to follow for next week at Kansas. He was above that cut line, but depending on where these drivers finish, it could change a lot for him, and he might be in a hole come next week at Kansas Speedway.
And it looks like we will be going back green flag racing here. Garrett Sidner, Cal Lavelle, your front row, and then Steve Merzlak and Davey Hazard right behind him. 2 Toyotas behind these 2 Fords. Green flags in the air. We're back underway racing here at Richmond.
Great start for the 16 and that 12 car. Now, Cam Barnes pit that last pit stop, one of the only guys up front to pit. So he's looking for new rubber or an adjustment to his setup right there. But right now, it's the 16 and 12 up front as cars are slowing down. We have another yellow out on the racetrack.
Oh boy. Who could it be? Who could it be? I'm thinking it might be this 14 car because I think he was closer to the front at the start of it. We're going to try to get you... Well, I guess I never even took the yellow flag off. Graphics team just... They knew there was a yellow coming out. They knew it, Tommy. They knew it.
Sometimes you can just feel it.
Let's see this incident. You're going to see Trey Coleman on the restart here. 18 of Ray Tustin. Oh, the 14, it looks like he just blinks out of the game. So that happens from time to time with internet connection kind of dropping. And then he just reappeared right in front of the 18. So tough break for the 14, but it doesn't look like he's got too much damage. And hopefully that 18 doesn't have any damage either.
Well, already a lot of adversity here to start this race here at Richmond. I mean, we're about a tenth of the way. In fact, we're over a tenth of the way through, but we've already seen enough that I don't know. We have a lot of different storylines of this race, especially with those chase drivers, like we mentioned earlier, and we still got a long way to go.
Well, and it's a long, it's gonna be a long night for the JTN crew here at Richmond. It's gonna be a long race. Hopefully these guys can rein it in a little bit, get us some more green flag racing. We had an excellent run at the start here. While we're under caution and we got your attention, I'd like to point out links. They're all the way at the bottom of the video description for JoeTow Designs. Benefit of having your own sim broadcasting, I don't want to call it company, but sim broadcasting thingy. Is you can use your own things to sponsor it. So JoeTow Designs, for all your sick, awesome, gnarly t-shirt designs, check out JoeTow Designs. Multiple designs are available, including a Bad Year 2020 and our own JTN merch. Use code JTN2, that is JTN2, for 10% off. A link is in the description below to check it out. There are some posters that we've also been working on. Give it a check out. Just click the link, see what it looks like, show us support that way, show us some love. Also, our Facebook link is there, so go like our page, and then you'll get posts anytime that we're going to be going live here with some NR 2003 broadcasts.
Well, Joe, we got the 1 to green last time by, so we'll be taking the green flag on the restart, restarting on lap 29 here at Richmond. Right now, it's the Garrett Sidnor show up front. I mean, he's benefited, of course, from some back-to-back yellows, but that whole first run, not only was he in the lead, but he was convincingly in the lead. He was pulling away from the rest of the field, and I think if he can stay up front, then he can have a really good night when this race boils down to the end of it. As long as he stays out of trouble, which seems to be the theme of tonight for sure, he'll be on for a good one.
As the cars roll through turns 3 and 4, Sidner's going to lead them down into the restart zone. Green flags back out. We're underway once again racing here at Richmond. Sidner with an amazing restart out front by 2 or 3 car lengths.
Yeah, another fantastic start for Sidnor. Cal Lavelle able to use that high line in the turns to kind of try and get something going, although it looks like...
Oh, contact!
On that backstretch.
Oh, Lavelle hard into the inside wall. Looks like he got loose coming off the corner, came across the nose of the 75.
Boy, that was tough. They were going 3 wide, exiting that corner, and at Richmond, boy, things can really tighten up on corner exit at turn 2, and it looks like that's exactly what happened. So that incident looks like Darren Ingram down in the bottom. I don't know if he really got involved too much, but he was certainly around that area. So that wreck involved 3 of our round of 10 drivers. So
yeah.
A lot of action tonight for those chase contenders.
As you see the replay there, the 12 just gets really loose on that outside lane. I don't know if maybe he and the 75 made contact right before they come off the corner there. If that got him loose, or if he just got loose running that upper group. But the 24, Darren Ingram, made an absolutely wicked dive to the bottom there to make sure he didn't get involved. No damage on that 24 car. Did a really great job of getting around that incident and making sure it wasn't bigger than it had to be.
Yeah, incredible car control for him to be able to hold on to that thing and avoid the wreck. And who knows, with the bunch of cars that were heading up on the high line behind him, if he was, if he got tagged and got sent up the racetrack, that could have been even bigger of a wreck. So, good job on Darren Ingram for getting out of that thing. And the only real big casualty in that wreck was the 12 car who had a hard hit into the inside wall, nose first.
And that's going to definitely give him some engine damage, but with this being a moderate damage series, he should hopefully be able to keep up there because, short track might not need all that horsepower this evening here at Richmond. So, with that, we're going to give you a little reset. We're going to take you through some of these cars towards the front. Tommy, do you want to talk about this 16 car?
Sure, the 16 car of Gerson now. This is kind of a prize of NR 2003 painting technology. This car was actually a joint car worked on by, I think, 2 or 3 different painters to make this thing, as you can see. Let me get a closer look on my camera and see if I can zoom in with the binoculars. So, as you can see, a lot of anime influence there with Crunchyroll, as well as I can't make out what the actual show itself is on there. But certainly a colorful car, and I'll tell you what, that's something that NR 2003 can really bring out in people is the creativity. So quite the show there from the 16 car. Also, completely different number fonts on pretty much every corner of that machine too. Really impressive.
Really impressive for that 16 car. Are we going back green flag this time?
Well, it would appear we took the 1 to green last time, so I think we will here.
And we are! Green flag is back out. We're back underway racing here. Sidner again getting a great jump. That's really the advantage of being the leader. You get to call the green flag where you want it.
Yeah, it is a huge advantage. I mean, you see it in real life too. You saw it in the Xfinity race too a little bit earlier today. As, whoa, Jack Healey touching the Ford car of Steven Merzlak a little bit off it too. But they avoided wrecking. But like I said, Joe, that controlling the restart can pay off huge dividends for you. And there's a 75 of Davey Hazard just involved in that last incident, looking for third.
Well, and don't look now. Our Autosim driver spotlight, Trey Coleman. He's up into the top 5. Yeah, he's up into the top 5 here.
Incredible recovery for that 14 car, I must say.
Yeah, he's doing a great job. You can see behind him Cam Barnes battling with Jeff Dixon for the 6th position.
Yep, looks like the green flag is out here for sure, Joe.
Yep, we got that fixed. Graphics department is a little slow. We gave them a couple more responsibilities this evening, and they're doing their best. But here you see Noah Joyce.
Looks like we got a question from the mailbox here, Joe. Viewer Ryan Pace asks, has science gone too far? Joe, what do you think?
Well, in the current world situation that we are, in the current, I'm trying to make sure I don't use words that'll get us demonetized, even though there is no money being made off of this broadcast from the YouTube sense. Can't use the C word, but
You mean caution, which we don't have, by the way.
there you go. We're not going to throw any Liberty Mutual banners up there to psych you out, but science could go a little farther in some respects, but I think when it comes to these race cars, I think these cars are so over-engineered to a point. That's what I want to do. I want to, tinker away on these race cars eventually down the road, but with the way these engineers have just gotten to their science, and they've really perfected the racing machine in the form of a stock car.
Yeah, and here we are, Joe. I mean, you think about what sim racing has brought to the esports community, certainly with the current situation going on in the world. It's 2020, and we're racing a game from 2003 with people all over the world, especially in the United States, of course, but certainly drivers from Canada also participating. So quite a technological feat to be able to do this and not only race, but also broadcast this great event. We have a lot of people out there watching, and we want to thank you for joining JTN here for our first inaugural broadcast here of the USORL Red Bull Cup Series here at Richmond.
And again, thank you to all of the admins over there for allowing us to do this. And thank you, Tommy, for really getting the wheels going on making this thing possible. But as we watch the fourth Steven Merzlak, why don't you talk about his paint scheme this evening?
Sure, Joe. Well, course, we know Steven Merzlak here. McDonald's a longtime supporter of that car. Now, some silly season news. McDonald's is going to be leaving the Ford team after this season, but for now, they're going to keep everything they can to get their name out there. Boy, it's got a really unique car there. Again, a lot of cool drawings of people that I'm not really sure who they are, but that car is getting passed right now by a non-musical car. The 75 of Davey Hazard has worked his way up to second place. Steven's PTR teammate.
And it wasn't going to be long before Davey made his way up towards the front of the field. He's doing so now. He's going to try to go run down that 16, but Steven, a great paint scheme. That thing looks cool. I don't know what I don't know who any of those people are, but I'm assuming is it anime or is it something else? I have no idea.
It could be, Joe, but I'll tell you what, right there's the 4 car. Now going back to the 20 with a very interesting little number combo there. Cam Barnes in that 20 car, it's got Red Hot Chili Peppers on the hood. I know who that is. The 20 car, certainly right now running in 4th place. Not only is he fast, but he's got a good-looking Jacob Company machine. And behind him is a car that I cannot say the name of the album to, but it is by Death Grip. So view at your own discretion.
Yep, and
that's Jack Healey in the 77 car.
We'll get off that car really quick before we get a good shot of that hood, but we'll move on to the 14 of Trey Coleman. He doesn't have a band on his car, but you see Black Lives Matter on the side of his. Great job for him in that 14 machine. Keep on moving back. You see the 38 of Jeff Dixon. I believe this is just a, the copy of the, oh my gosh, Bill Byron paint scheme that he ran in the iRacing NASCAR Pro Invitational Series earlier this year with the gold and black. So good looking machine there.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you know me, Joe, big supporter of chrome rims, colored rims, all that kind of thing. Love the gold rims there on that 38 car. Looks very sharp.
Yeah, as now we'll move back to Noah Joyce in this 39 machine. He's got American Ethanol on the side, but what's on the hood?
Well, that'd be Kanye West's Ye album, one of the best albums in the, I would say, 21st century. At least to me, for sure. Means a lot to me, and of course, Noah Joyce representing it very well in that beautiful car. I love the American Ethanol font matching the album cover font as well. Looks fantastic. Well put together for that 39 car.
Yeah, really nice touch for the car, driver, team, everyone that got involved in making that paint scheme. We'll move back to the 24 with those all-star numbers. Why don't you talk about his car?
Yeah, so if you recognize that owl on the hood, that's Drake's OVO brand. Of course, that 24 car using those famous gold and black colors.
Oh!
We have a problem!
Oh, big issues here. 24 around. He got loose. He got loose.
And just as we were talking about him, boy, his face must have been red. His ears must have been burning, and perhaps his elbow was itchy as he got loose going into turn number 3, turn 4 there, and finally got put around by the 12 car of Cal Lavelle in the UPS Ford.
Well, you know what they say, if you're driving a car at Richmond and your elbow's itchy, why don't you go ahead and scratch it there. Tough break for Darren. We're not going to get you a replay of that just because, I think you saw what happened. He got loose from on the outside. He's going to miss pit road too. He probably wanted to come there, get some fresh tires. Although I don't know if it was open that time by. But the yellow flag is out here.
That's wow. Looks like he got loose into the corner, and then from that, slowing up, checking up, trying to save that car. The 12 got into him, of course, not intentionally, but that certainly finished him off. And here we have, I believe, our 4th yellow of the night. So 50 laps in here, Joe, and we got pit stops in this yellow flag condition.
As Garrett's going to win the race off the pit road, Davey's going to be right there behind him. So Davey's going to get a chance on this front row on this next restart. Merzlak comes off 3rd, Cam Barnes 4th, and Trey Coleman moving back up into the top 5.
I got to say, really impressive for that 14 of Trey Coleman. Involved in a few early incidents, and to be able to find his way back into the top 5, really impressive by that 14 team. And of course, Davey Hazard in that 75. Now with Hazard up there, who's worked his way up from the back of the field to the front, I think Garrett might see his best competition all night coming from that Haviland Martini machine.
Well, and Davey's just really good at restarts, so it'll be interesting to see if he can get a great restart here. We've seen the 16 do a great job all night, making sure, kind of suckering that car in the outside lane to not go at the same moment as him. So we'll see if the 75 can do a little better than what we've seen those other guys on the outside throughout this race.
Yeah, certainly you hope that he can get a good start out there. Well, it'll make things really interesting. It's been since about the first couple laps since we've seen the outside line how to have a good start, though. So the odds are maybe against him, but if it's Davey Hazard, I know he can do it, and certainly looking for a good result here. So far, he's had a good night. When you talk about that play oof picture, with a couple drivers already experiencing a lot of issues, and of course the number one of Zach Krastowski already out of the race. So, good points day so far for Davey Hazard if he can keep it up. We still have 150 laps to go in this race.
And we'll see if he can get it done here. I'm going to be going green flag next time by. As next time by, we should be getting the 1 to green here. But, again, thank you so much, everyone, joining us. This is the most concurrent viewers on a live stream that we've had here on YouTube. So thank you to everyone that got involved in making this happen. I'm Joe Twansky. Alongside me is Tommy Bordeaux. Thank you so much. We're so happy that you're joining us here this evening. And if you're not joining us live, well, thanks for watching the replay of this event. Anytime also while you're live, you should be able to go back. The race should be cataloged, so if there's ever a moment that you missed or you want to hit the pause button, not get out of place on the video, you're free to do so here. One of the wonders of YouTube, as we're going to be coming through turns 3 and 4, we should be going back to green flag racing.
Yep, green flag racing about to come back out here at Richmond with just a little under 150 laps to go. Garrett Sidnor leads the field and takes the green flag. Away we go, and the 75 gets a pretty slow start. Joey mentioned that outside line, struggling for grip up there. Sidnor leads them down into 1.
Well, and Davey did do a better job than some of those other guys. He's going to be able to stick with that 16 here, right on his tail. Might have gotten to the wall a little bit there with the right rear.
Yeah, he made up for it, certainly, in turns 1 and 2 right there. Even though a little bit of contact on the outside, I don't think he's going to experience a whole lot of issues here. So right now, that 75 right on the tail of the 16. Boy, that's about the closest competition he's seen all night.
The 75 right there closes in the gap on the bumper. Davey Hazard in the 75, Garrett Sidnor in the 16.
Then we got a caution out on the track.
Of course. Just when it gets good, they throw a yellow.
Well, I'll tell you what, though, Joe, this bodes well for later in this racing event. I got to say, I think we've seen some good racing tonight on those long green flag runs. Been really impressive to see all the positions and all the cars shuffling around like a deck of cards. It's been quite impressive, and looks like that incident there involving the 77 of Jack Healey in the Snickers machine, as well as the 41 of Michael Morata.
Yeah, I saw Mikey there, but the 77 gets on the brakes and the car just snaps around on him. So, Tommy, what does that mean for the driver and the setup on that car?
Well, it could be a number of things, Joe. Something might have broken down there, but things don't often break in esports events. So it might be a brake bias issue. If he has his brake bias, I think, too far to the rear, he's going to experience a loose condition on the brakes. Looks like he got tagged there, too, by a number of cars going by. Unfortunate for Jack Healey there. Yeah, it could be a number of things. I think it looks like one of those situations where maybe he pushed into the corner a little bit too hard, and the rear end maybe stepped out on him, and he went around.
Yeah, and a tough break for the 77 and a tough break for the 41. You saw he was to the outside of cars, so not a lot Mikey could have done in that 41. A legend here on JTN won the Talladega race where we had our biggest booth ever for the Dash Series. And of course...
Yeah, that was quite the event right there, Joe. I remember that one well, and he was my pick, in fact, and he actually proved me right, which was pretty exciting.
Well, and I think with that being said, I bet you Trey Coleman's feeling really good about being your pick here tonight. I mean, you picked him with the Autosim driver's spotlight earlier on in the event, and he had some trouble in those first 50 laps, but he's starting to make his way back to the front.
Yeah, you know, how strong you are isn't about how much you can withstand. It's about how much you can come back from and withstand. So him to experience a lot of adversity earlier in this racing event, to already be back in the top 5, really impressive. That 14 is really fast here today.
Yeah, doing a great job in that 14. Struggles early on in this race, but he's getting back going here. He qualified outside pole, so that car's got speed in it. He's just got to keep the nose clean on it.
Yeah, I got to say, if he can get up there and challenge with the 16 of Sidnor and the 75 of Hazard, those 3 cars could really have a big breakaway for this win. And I got to say, it'd be quite a colorful one as well. A lot of old colors out here tonight, which is nice to see.
Yeah, it's a great field tonight. Honestly, these paint schemes, they all really go together here. You got a couple that really stand out, like the 14 with the brighter colors, the 75 with brighter colors. The 16 just stands out because, oh man, that is a masterpiece of a race car with some beautiful colors.
Indeed, there's a lot of detail. And here we are, lap 57.
With a restart, Back in the air, 16 looks like he's sleeping a little bit. 75, Davey Hazard still sticking tough on his outside.
Yeah, it was a fantastic start on the outside for Hazard. We've seen him be strong in 1 and 2 on the outside already, so he might be looking for the lead here on Sidnor.
And
On
he
the
took
outside,
it.
he's going to have that momentum and clear him. Incredible pass, and that's our first different leader of the night.
He did a great job there, too. The 16 looked like he might have got a little loose on the bottom, maybe hit the apron a little bit, and Davey capitalized on that, and that's what you got to do as a sim racer. You got to capitalize on others' mistakes, but Sidner closing in on his back bumper, trying to get back to the lead.
He's not going to let him go by too fast, although right now it looks like Hazard just seems to be able to pull away without any issue. But Sidnor, of course, he's really fast, and it looks like he's closed right back up. Wow, what an impressive race for these guys up front.
Yeah, doing a great job. That 16 can really get into the corner really well, but Davey just beats him off the corner. But there the 16 gets a great run off of turn 2.
He certainly does, and boy, we're still double wide back in the pack here as these top three, that 75, 16, and 4, strung out a little bit, and Trey Coleman being hung out on the outside. That 14 car is not in the preferred line right now, and he's suffering from it.
Yeah, as the 12 of Cal Lavelle gets by him, but Trey's able to get back to the inside, and now he looks to the inside to make a pass on the 12.
Oh, how quick things can change here for Trey Coleman. Hopefully it means him getting back up to the front to make my pick come true. But I gotta say right now, Davey Hazard setting some really fast lap times up front.
Yeah, it's a car we haven't talked.
Last time by though, we're about even on lap time.
Yeah, you see here the 51 of Steelman. He gets by the 14 of Coleman. So great run for that My Chemical Romance, the Black Parade paint scheme. I know that one. I don't know most of these, but I know that one at least.
I gotta say that 51 car's got a really great detail, and it'll probably be able to show up on broadcast. It's got some of that eye black, eye shadow around the edges of the headlights there.
Oh, it does.
Nice little detailed touch from Matt Steelman.
Oh, beautiful for that 51 car. Great job by that team putting together a great paint scheme.
Eyeliner, that's the word I'm looking for.
There you go. Got a nice outline of eyeliner. I wonder if they actually used eyeliner on it to maybe be a little more realistic.
Well, I don't know, Joe, but if they did, I'm surprised that thing's still on there as much as these cars are using their bumpers tonight.
And they are doing just that. We'll go back to your lead as the battle's heating up once again. Davey Hazard still your leader, but Garrett Sidner looking to close the gap. Or looking to make the pass.
But I'll tell you what, that 16 car is just hung around. Like I said, he's not letting him get away too fast. And it's really a 3-car breakaway here. 25, 16, and 4 of Steven Merzlak. Merzlak, the birthday boy. And also teammate to Davey Hazard in that PTR duo of the 75 and the 4. And a couple of times the 57, but that guy's going to be in the booth for the rest of the season.
Well, you're in the booth because you want to be in the booth, not because of lack sponsorship, right?
Absolutely. The T2B company can get me to any race I want any time, but I figured I'd let these guys battle it out and join you up here, and boy, I'm having a lot of fun doing it.
Great job, and thank you so much to everyone tuning in. We love to see all the comments there. That chat is going wild tonight. Make sure if you got any questions, you can ask them there. We'll try to answer them. We keep an eye on the chat as best we can, as the battle for 4th is now heating up between Jeff Dixon and Cal Lavelle. Cal to the inside.
Yeah, Jeff Dixon, one of those drivers that started near the front today, and so did Cal Lavelle. They've all been running in the top 5, seemingly all race long. And one car that's trended the wrong direction is that 14 of Trey Coleman, right now back in 7th.
Yeah, but, you know, if he can just, maybe he got those tires a little too hot at the start of this run, maybe cool him down a little bit, try to make another charge. He's also got some damage on the rear end of that 14, so that's definitely not helping his case here this evening.
No, it certainly wouldn't, and I think at a track like this especially, aero isn't, really that important, but mechanical grip sure is, and any bit of bodywork or crinkle or dentin that might be damaged on that race car can really affect how this thing handles, especially if anything's bent in the suspension. So for Trey Coleman, unfortunately going the wrong way, but hopefully he can make his way up here by the end, is the 16 right on the tail of that 75 car.
Yeah, and real quick, I want to correct a mistake. I might have said Lavelle for the 12 car of Cal Lavelle. Big moment for Davey Hazard. Gets loose through the center, and that lets the 16 get by.
Wow, look at that, a mistake from the 75 car, Davey Hazard. You don't see it too often, but Garrett Sidnor was able to pounce on it and take the lead. Impressive for that 16 car to take back the race that he led the whole first about a quarter of.
And we're getting a report from the 41 pit, Mikey Morata, whatever that one is. You know, Mikey will yell at me later, but from that 41 team. They were using a setup from Iowa this evening, so that was why that team was struggling, because this is Richmond, not Iowa. So tough break for them in that 41 crew. The M2 Motorsports machine.
Kind of similar tracks, but unfortunately, when he was talking about an Iowa setup, happy referencing the Indy cars that they were that they were at the track earlier today. So, unfortunately for him, yeah, tough night for that 41 team. Hopefully, they can rebound next week at Kansas.
Yeah, as Jeff Dixon looks like he's on pit road. I'm assuming he might have spun it coming off a 2. We saw some smoke out there. We're, of course, not at the track, so we can't see too much. But we're going to keep going through this field. You see the 18 of Ray Tustin. Tommy, why don't you talk about his Z-Line paint scheme?
Absolutely. Well, that Z-Line car's got a great sponsor on the hood. That, of course, is Astro World by Travis Scott, one of the top albums of the past couple years. And I got to say, Joe, that car looks really nice, and it's a good album as well. Great choice there by Ray Tustin. Tasteful paint scheme as well.
And he does a great job, too, that, you know, it looks like a Z-Line paint scheme, but he incorporates the album cover into it. So great job on that 18 and for that team and Ray for coming up with a great paint scheme. We'll move back to the 99 of J.J. Dalton. Let's talk about his car.
Yeah, Jesse Dalton was set it off by midnight on that car. A really kind of minimalistic design, but really cool. If you can see the details on that, it's pretty eerie. It really captures the vibe of the album really well. And he did a fantastic job on that car. It looks really nice. I do like it a lot, and I think simple paint schemes can oftentimes look really good. And that's a great example of one right there.
As I look back at the 2 of Alex Seufert, currently can't see his paint scheme. Don't know why. But, I don't know. Can you see
I would like to give a shout out for him, though. This is a music race, so of course I want to give a shout out to his sponsor here in our entry list records that is listed as Roland, the keyboard company. So, an appropriate sponsor and quite a nice young man. He's got a lot of good things going for him tonight, except unfortunately, perhaps not the car in the broadcast that he wanted to see. But so far, running back in the 12th position.
As we go back now to the 78, that's DJ Harris with his paint scheme. Why don't you talk about his as well?
Yeah, Joe, that 78 car again, kind of a simpler design here. I can't make out who that is on the hood, but he's got one of those album covers on the hood, man, like you expect to see. And Konica Minolta, the printing company, also on the sides of that machine.
Yeah, great looking paint scheme there. If you want to tell us who that is in the chat box, we'd love to hear it so that way we can acknowledge it. Oh, there's 77s in the wall.
Looks like we don't have a caution. That was only one car, so we're still green, but that's more problems for Jack Healey. 78, by the way, future nostalgia on the back of that car, so that's who it is.
All right, so we got that straight. And one last car that's still out here, the 33 of John Peterson, last week's winner at Talladega.
Yeah, that 77 car, John Peterson, a big supporter of JTN here recently. Big thanks to him for letting us broadcast this race and being invited to do it for the USORL playoffs. And he's got Aerosmith on the hood of that Cheerios machine, a very nice looking car. And, well, aesthetically, possibly, until you get to the rear end, that early damage really detracts from that look. But other than that, he's chugging along there in 13th. Just got on that 78 car.
Yeah, well, it was a really nice looking car until that he got the rear end into the wall. So tough break for him as we go back to our leader, Garrett Sidner, currently your leader here in the 16 car.
Yeah, Sidner's actually pulled away now from Davey Hazard. We saw Hazard make that mistake, and since that, when Sidner was able to get by, boy, that 16 has really just pulled away. And Joe, I believe we have 2 more cars playoff implication worthy. If you want to bring up that number graphic, we have some updates.
Alright, so go ahead. We got Sidner in the lead, but he was already looking pretty good on points. Steven Merzlak is also sitting third, so he was looking good on points. And Davey Hazard currently in second, making up some points on the bubble. What else you got, Tommy?
Well, Joe, big implications here for the 38 team of Jeff Dixon. They have retired. We saw some issues with that car earlier in the race. Saw him have to go down pit road. Unfortunately for him, a mechanical failure brought the 38 car out of the race. Might have been involved in some early contact that might have had some leaking, and ultimately that 38 car had to be retired. Same with that 77 car of Jack Healey. We saw him spin earlier as well and get involved in some accidents where he got hit by a couple cars. He as well has retired. So while Healey was not in the playoffs himself, that also means the minimum position now for some of these drivers has moved up a little bit, and every point matters. So But the 38 car of Jeff Dixon, tough for him. He was really strong in the first round of these playoffs, won 2 of the 3 races in the round of 12, but now here at Richmond, retiring early.
As we saw Garrett Sidner and Davey Hazard making quick work of this lap car, the 78 of DJ Harris. But that allowed Davey to maybe reel in the 16 a little bit, but now we see Garrett Sidner again pulling out. So he's kind of stinking up this green flag run show here. But tough break for those guys. They were both only the 38 and the 1. Those cars were only 4 to the good here coming into this night, so that's definitely going to be a big detriment to their points nights if Cam Barnes and Noah Joyce can have a good finish, and even if they finish where they're running right now.
Yeah, we're going to see a lot of things shake up, and that's going to make for next week's race at Kansas really entertaining. I'd like to mention next week is another theme race for the USORL Cup Series. It's Spongebob week, so you'll expect to see some more special paint schemes out there featuring your favorite SpongeBob SquarePants characters. I know if I was in that race, I'd be racing the Larry the Lobster car with TWB on the hood, but we're going to see a lot of great ones out there. All your favorites, SpongeBob, Plankton, Patrick, Sandy, Mr. Krabs, of course, and all the rest of them. So tune in next week, same time, same bat time, same bat channel. We'll have a great show for you from Kansas, and certainly a fantastic playoff experience as well.
And just in case you don't remember that it's the same time, same channel, make sure you go to the link in the description to our JTN Facebook page. Give us a like over there. Share it with your friends. Share this video with your friends. If you're in the race and you're watching the replay, let them all know that we're broadcasting the United States Online Racing League every Saturday night for the next, well, after tonight, 5 weeks. For the remainder of their playoffs, and it's going to be a great battle for this championship, Tommy, because we got some great drivers still in the hunt for it.
Yeah, and I gotta mention, one of the things that really makes USORL stand out from a lot of other NR 2003 leagues is the parity in this league. I mean, you see a lot of different guys changing positions all the time, a lot of new winners, a lot of different winners. In the USORL ARCA series, which happens on Friday nights, I want to say we've had a different winner just about every week. I think there's only been maybe 2 or 3 repeat winners. So that's been a fantastic series, and these guys race hard. They race clean most of the time, as we can see. We've been on a quite a long green flag run, and it's been very exciting here to broadcast already as we're moving up on just a few laps away from halfway here at Richmond.
Yeah, and halfway is a big lap here because that means if the server were to crash, the race would be official, if I am correct. So, same thing as in real life if it rains after halfway or at the end of stage 2, because stage racing, the race would be official. Same thing here. If we have an issue with the server, your race will be official this evening. So, great for all these guys. Get the race in tonight as we're closing in on 1 hour into this broadcast. Tommy, you feeling good? This is the longest one we've ever done, so you still feel like you're going to be good for the rest of this? I know you're on that West Coast time.
Oh, I'm feeling great, Joe. For me, I mean, it's not even 8. I mean, it's just past 8:30. I got plenty of time, and boy, I'm really excited. I hope the fans at home are having a good time as well. We've got a lot of people out there in the chat tonight, and I want to say hello to you all and thank you all for showing up tonight. We've had a great race so far. We've had a couple early incidents, but other than that, a lot of green flag racing, and you really like to see that, especially at a track like Richmond where long runs can produce some very interesting results.
Well, in long runs, you talked about tires and having grip and traction throughout the race. These guys, they got to be screaming at their crew chiefs. They got to be screaming at each other because they're all in that one big chat channel um, about their tires, about how the cars are starting to tighten up on them or loosen up if you're lucky enough. So, what are you thinking we're going to be seeing pit stops here in the next 20 or so laps?
Well, it's all going to depend on how fuel goes. So these guys, I think it's been since about lap 57 since we took that last restart. So they got probably 20 more laps on this tank of fuel here. And I suspect when you guys come down to pit road, all these drivers, they're definitely going to be taking 4 tires. There's no question about it. That is unless we get a caution, in which case, I don't know. We've seen the tire wear definitely be an issue. I mean, the leader right now, Garrett Sidnor, is running about 5/10 slower than his best lap, but I don't know, Joe. We'll see if track position becomes as important as we think it's going to be. Towards the end of the race, at least, we're probably going to see some tire strategies play out here.
Yeah, as we see on your screen, Cam Barnes making a great move to the inside of Cal Loveall in that 12 UPS machine. So Cal falling back to the 5th position. And the 51 of Steelman's going to be looking for that position here pretty soon because that 51 car looks like he is starting to heat up behind the wheel of that machine.
I've noticed that before with that 51 machine. Really good on long runs when tire saving becomes a premium. Matt Steelman can do a really good job there, and so his chemical romance car might turn into his
Winning.
top five romance. Who knows?
As he makes the move to the inside, you saw the 12 had some internet issues there, so he was missing for a whole corner. How scary is that as we see Steelman making the move to move into the top 5? How scary is that when the car in front of you is gone from your screen for that long?
Oh, it's terrifying. You don't know where that car is, and it's essentially like you're flying blind. He could be on the high side, he could be on the low side, he could be right inside of you. You don't know. So that's a big factor you have to look out here for esports and online racing. That you just that's part of the game that you have to play. But looks like the 51 able to get around the 12, relatively easy right there.
And we're seeing the 12. It looks like he probably used up his stuff really hard. The 14 of Trey Coleman is going to be next, trying to make a move on him. So we'll see if Trey can make the move. We'll keep an eye on the 12 and the 14. But if we go back to your leaders here, Davey Hazard still falling farther and farther behind the 16 as Sidner gets in on the apron a little bit there. That's a scary moment behind the wheel of 16. Just take it easy, driver. Take it easy.
Yeah, Joe, that was probably one of the only laps we've had so far where Davey's actually been faster than Sidnor. Last time by, Davey had him by a tenth, but the time before, Sidnor pulled away by another 4/10. His gap now over 2.5 seconds on Hazard. So Garrett Sidnor in that 16 car. Not only is the car complex, but his racing has been complex for these guys to try and figure out how they're going to beat him.
And right now, it does not look like you will be able to beat him. He goes through turns 1 and 2 really high there. I'm wondering if he's going to be coming to pit road here soon because it looks like his tires are really gone on him as the 18 is now on pit road.
Yeah, we're getting about that time. The 18, 12, and the 2, the first 3 cars on pit road right now. Getting new tires, trying to make up some track position with that fresh rubber. So we might see some leaders come in soon. They're going to be towards their end of the fuel run pretty soon, and they might want to be in sooner than later as the 16 stays out this time at least.
Well, and you definitely do not want to be out there on old tires for too long. This 12 car is going to definitely start making up some time on the guys in front of him, but it'll be interesting to see if he can maintain that time throughout a run, or if maybe he was just coming because he was later on tires. And 16 again is going to go by that pit cone.
Yeah, something to mention, Joe. Like I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, a fuel run is about 60 laps. So if these guys go this whole green flag run to the end of the race, including their next pit stop, they'd have to pit 2 more times. One recently and one with about 40 laps to go or so. So they can make it quite a distance and not have to pit. So these drivers, it's really a guessing game of when do you want to come down. And it might come down to just staying out as long as you can to avoid a yellow. That's another strategy you have to keep into account. You certainly want to get in early as 16, getting quite loose out of 2.
Yeah, as what we saw, the 24 is on pit road, 99 is on pit road. Davey Hazard, second place, is on pit road as well.
Yep, a lot of cars coming down now. So after this pit stop, they'll only have one more pit stop to make. Our leader, Garrett Sidnor in the 16, down pit road.
Yep, and the 4 is Steven Merzlak's also on pit road. So it looks like most of our leaders here have now made their trip to pit road. Again, don't speed, bring it down easy, especially if you're the 16 car and you had that ginormous lead coming to this pit stop.
Yeah, the worst thing Sidnor could do right now is get a penalty for speeding or an unsafe exit or something like that. That's the last thing he needs. Pit crew just needs to do their job as well. Don't leave any loose equipment in the box. Just change all the lugs. Don't leave any loose wheels out there. And hopefully pull away with a clean pit stop. He had a very comfortable lead coming in. And hopefully for that 16 team, they can pull it out as well.
Yeah, as Davey Hazard came in a lap before him, so I don't think it's going to be that 75 is going to make up as much time. But of course, I say that he goes by. That is for the lead, isn't it?
Yeah, that would be for the lead. Really impressive. The de facto lead. Right now, that 20 car Cam Barnes currently lapping the field because he has not pit yet. But that's essentially the race for the lead. A big swing there right there. I mean, that's some huge implications because not only is the 75 in front of the 16, so is the 12 of Cal Lavelle, who pit a lot earlier than everybody else that just did.
Yeah, as now Cam Barnes, we saw him coming to pit road, so the 75 will take the lead here on this cycle of pit stops. I wonder if the 16 might have been a little too careful coming to pit road and coming off of pit road.
He could have been. I talked about you just want a clean stop, but maybe it was a little bit, yeah, like you said, too careful. As the 20 car Cam Barnes finally concedes his lead and goes down pit road, leaving the 14 of Trey Coleman yet to pit out in the lead, yeah, sometimes you can come in too slow and too cautious, and that's just kind of the game you play. How close to the edge do you want to get for Garrison, or he didn't want to, and unfortunately that cost him a lot of time on the track. I know the 75 of Davey Hazard back out to the de facto lead, of course, which he should actually have outright in a few more laps.
Yeah, as we saw Noah Joyce coming to pit road in that 39 machine. Trey Coleman should be on pit road in the next few laps. Here, he's definitely close to running on fumes in that 14 car. As you hear him slowing down, and he will be coming to pit road this time by. You just got to be so careful here at Richmond. You see so many times in the Cup Series and Xfinity Series trucks when they used to run here, and when they will run here hopefully again, you see them, they hit that commitment cone, or that there's a box actually on the real track because that cone got thrown onto the track so many times in the past. We're watching the battle for the lead heat up with the 16, but you got to be so careful making sure you don't run over the commitment line and get all 4 tires below that box.
Yeah, and it can be so easy just to make a mistake there, especially with the geometry of the track and how you enter pit road. But like you said, Joe, things really heating up front. There's the 16 trying to go by the 12.
And he does. Really great pass by Sidner in that 16 machine. He moves into second place right behind Davey Hazard.
Very clean there, and I think that 12 car of Cal Lovell really making a good points move right there. I mean, look, he's one of these drivers that's already in the top 8 to move on to the next round if he can stay there. He's already going to have a good points night considering some of the cars that are out. And for him, he just needs to be smart about this. A top 5 finish for that 12 car could put him in a great position for next week at Kansas. So he just wants to bring this home in one piece, and I think letting Garrett go with all the speed that 16 car has tonight is a good move. Now, one driver who maybe is a little bit more anxious to have a win here is that 75 of Davey Hazard, who now has the 16 in his rearview mirror.
Yeah, as he's coming up on the lap traffic, he's going to get to the inside of that 99 machine of Jesse Dalton. Sidner is going to catch that 99 off the corner. That's definitely going to hurt his momentum.
That's a tough place to catch people, especially on the outside of turn 4 right there, because the entry of turn 1 is so important at Richmond. You get that right, you get it wrong, that could really affect the whole rest of your lap. So pretty difficult situation there for Sidner, although that seemed to have affected him as much as you might think. That 16 car is bad fast.
Yeah, that's just, coming from a guy that drives Fords in NR, that Ford's just, it's got more horsepower than that Toyota out front.
Maybe. I don't know.
I think it does, especially those PTR Toyotas that you and Davey drive. Our Fords, they're rocket ships. As now the 16 looks to the inside, he's going to prove my point here, Tommy.
We'll see, Joe. Of course, at Richmond, engine power may not be the biggest thing. It's all about handling. And I'll tell you what, handling-wise, okay, maybe the 16 does have a better machine tonight. Although the 75 still trying to cling on to that lead, man.
Yeah, 16 is going to look to the outside. One guy that definitely is going to disagree with you about the engine power thing being important is John Peterson in that 33 machine. He had to retire due to blowing his motor after a couple of tough licks in Rex. And Davey Hazard, again, trying to stick tough on the outside, but he gets really wide down here in 3 and 4. That's going to allow Sidner to get to the lead, and Cal Laval now trying to move into second place.
Davey Hazard was first just a lap ago, right now in jeopardy of falling back to third. Oh, looks like he's getting really squirrely out of 2 there. That car's not handling well, Joe, and it doesn't look like it's getting any better.
Yeah, you saw that right front kind of dig into the ground really hard as he's wiggling back and forth a little. I wonder if those tires maybe are just going away too quick on him. Might have got him too hot trying to stay out in front of the 16 machines. Now the 12's to his inside.
Well, he's going to have to hang on to it a little bit, Joe. He's really struggling there. Looks like especially off of turn 2, and that's just going to not be anything good for him, especially if we go green to the end of this race. We've been green for so long now, almost 80 laps or so. So unfortunately for Hazard, if things don't, get any better for that 75 car, it could be a tough night again for that 75 team.
Yeah, Davey's just got to keep it cool under the helmet, behind the steering wheel. He looks to the inside of the 12. He's going to try to make the pass. He's been really loose here, but he's going to make do and get back into second place.
That's impressive for him to get that confidence back in such a short amount of time. You experienced your car getting out of control multiple times. You've lost the lead. You're going on the back foot, trying to get everything you can. Have the patience just to keep it within yourself. Drive just as smooth as possible as you can. Really great move there to get back to second on Cal Laval. But I got to say, Joe, that 16 car is now sailing away almost 2 seconds ahead of the field.
Yeah, and if you're Garrett, you're definitely hoping that this thing goes green to the end. He's shown that he's had short run speed. He's had a lot of good long run speed, but there has been a guy that's been able to get by him on the short run, and that's Davey Hazard in that 75.
Yeah, and that's just about it. I think if this thing stays green all the way to the end, I don't want to jinx him, but what the trend would be is Sidnor to have a fairly comfortable lead. That is, of course, if he can maybe clean up the green flag pit stops a little bit. Of course, we'll have one more of those if things go green all the way. But right now, he looks pretty untouchable as we're about to complete lap 128 here. And we've almost come down here, Joe, to the final 70 or so laps of the race.
And as we get closer and closer to the finish of this event, it's going to be really important for these drivers not to make a mistake. You know, we saw a guy like Trey Coleman, he was involved in a couple incidents, probably self-admittedly might have made a couple mistakes getting involved in those incidents. He's got to make sure that he doesn't make mistakes here at the end. He had a decent amount of points coming into the night, not enough to make him feel safe, but with guys behind him in points having trouble. You see the 75 again, really loose off the corner. You got to minimize those mistakes as we close out this race.
Yeah, and speaking of minimizing mistakes, you just mentioned that 75 car getting loose. If I could talk to him right now, I'd tell him just stay calm behind that visor. You got to just keep your head down, stay cool. I know the car's not handling well, but given the kind of problems that drivers like Jeff Dixon, Trey Coleman, and Zach Kreskowski have had, your fellow competitors here in the playoffs, you got to just keep your head down and keep moving. It's okay to finish second in this situation. You don't need a win, especially at Kansas coming next week, a track that I know Davey has done well at before. The whole PTR program's done very well at before. You just need to stay calm and keep moving forward. Again, he's running second. He's doing well, and I know he wants to win, and I know how bad he wants to win. But right now, you got to be smart and get this car to the finish before you can think about winning.
Well, and you talk about making sure you don't make any mistakes. A guy that had a mistake earlier on in this race looked like he made hard contact with that inside wall. Well, he's running third, Cal Lovall, in this 12 UPS machine. You saw he made that early pit stop, about 5-ish or 7, I don't recall the correct number, laps before the leader and some of the guys in front of him. That managed to get him track position all the way up to third here. Does he do the same thing this last pit stop to try to maybe capitalize on those freshy tires?
Well, we'll see, Joe. I mean, we're only about 6 or 7 laps away from the pit window opening up. So Lovell there really took advantage of that last short pit opportunity. So as long as he's able to do that, and of course we stay green, he doesn't get trapped a couple laps down, he might go for that strategy again. It worked out great last time. And for that UPS car, I'll tell you what, Cal wants to drive the truck. He might earn it here tonight.
And if he gets to drive that truck, he'll be one of the very few that have been able to do it. In the United States Online Racing League. Again, thank you everyone for joining. I see so many viewers, so much in the chat. We appreciate all of that. As always, I will never be able to put it into words how much it means to me to see all the support, all the love here on JTN. We thank you so much for watching. We thank you so much for the likes. With that being said, give us a sub here on YouTube. Go to Facebook, give us a like over there. We post anytime. We're going to be going live. We'll be going live Tuesday night for the Fast Racing League's Mountain Dew Dash Series at Rockingham, so that should be an interesting event there. Rockingham, always a tough track, and then we'll be right back here with you next week, 10:40 p.m. Eastern Time for the next and final race of the round of 10 for these playoffs, and it's going to be really interesting with guys like Zach Kreskowski and Jeff Dixon in the 1 and 38 cars respectively, retiring out of this race after they were within that top 8 to transfer the next round, but they're definitely going to be falling out of it here.
Going to be tough for them to make up those spots certainly next week. But if you want to see some good racing with a lot of tire wear, that's going to be next Tuesday here at the Dash Series race at Rockingham, like you said, Joe. I mean, that's going to be a race where. We have a huge wreck here in turn 4 at Richmond. Oh my gosh, I saw a car up and over.
And
that was a huge one.
Noah Joyce, driver of the 39, another play oof guy. That's a big oof there for the 39 machine. Up and
what
over.
A terrible crash right there.
Real tough break for Noah. You hate to see it, obviously. We're gonna get you a replay.
Well, Joe, we just talked about drivers having issues that are in the playoffs. And with Joyce being one of them now, has added his name to the list, and that's quite unfortunate for that 39 team who came into this race below the cut line.
Yeah, he just gets loose and it just goes over and over and over. Not something you typically see here. Now you see cars going by the fourth. Steven Merzlak looks like he might have scraped the wall trying to make sure he didn't hit Noah. That might be some damage to the right side of that machine, so that's a tough break for him there. But, oh boy, flipping at Richmond, have you ever?
Well, a couple of times. I mean, Richmond can produce some very interesting crashes. We've seen one already earlier this race with Zach Kreskowski and Jamie Zalecki going for rides. So, what a big wreck here. I hope he's okay. The car, even though rolled over a couple times, still honestly looks pretty good, and not just because it has a fantastic album on it. Hopefully, that 39 can return to the race and meet minimum speed. That's a huge ride for that 39 car.
As you saw the race off pit road, Davey Hazard, he's going to snag the lead here for this restart. So if he can get a good restart, take advantage of maybe the inexperience of Sidner in that 16 machine on not being the leader on a restart, might spell a good opportunity for that 75 team.
Yeah, you talk about opportunity right now, and him getting that lead is going to mean a lot because he'll also be able to, like we've mentioned, control that restart. And that's going to be a huge component to whether or not he can stay in front of the 16.
Yeah, and a tough year, tough break. And what's been a bad year so far? It's been 2020, a bad year. You can check out the Bad Year 2020 design as well as many other designs at JoeTow Designs. Use code JTN2 for 10% off any purchase, all of your purchases from JoeTow Designs. In the description, there's a link to that store. There's also a link to Bristol's boutique. If you want to get a little fancier there, we got a fancy word after Bristol. Bristol the dog, obviously a big supporter of JTN, and you can use that code JTN2 to get 10% off there. As it looks like we will be coming back to green here this time by.
Yep, and it's Davey Hazard out in the lead, able to get the first position away from Sidnor, able to clutch it away from him in pit road once again. We'll see if that can hold.
He waited until
back out here, Richmond.
Yeah, Davey did a great job. He waited till the end of the restart zone, and that Sidner looked like he was going, and then he had to back off, and that's going to allow the 12 to get to his inside and make the move for second. As Cam Barnes now looking for third.
Well, take a look at that, Joe, and Sidner hits the wall at it too. He's moving backwards. He's in a foreign position tonight. He hasn't been much further back than the top 5, really. So for him, even the top 3. So for him right now, he's got to be frustrated. You know he's so fast in that long run. You just got to be patient and try and make his way back up through the field. But right now, that 12 car right on the tail of the 75, and Cam Barnes up to 3rd place.
As Trey Coleman into the wall. Can't be making those mistakes right now, Trey. But yeah, what is dirty air? You know, the 16's been in clean air all night, and that's like a real hot button topic word. 16's been in clean air. Now getting in dirty air, what does that do to that car?
Well, first and foremost, I hope there comes a day where I never have to say dirty air ever again, except for when referring to mud flying around within the atmosphere. But until that day comes, dirty air is the situation where all the air coming off of a car's spoiler and other aero elements in front of another car is really turbulent. And what that does, it affects the handling of the race car right behind it. Because that air is not in a uniform, calm pattern, can really affect how it bounces off the car and all the different aero elements. You're not getting quite the downforce that you would have with clean air or undisturbed air. So that can do a number. And at Richmond, kind of a higher speed short track, it might actually affect these cars a little bit, but hopefully not as much as the real NASCAR Cup Series.
And hopefully not, because this is also this game, NR 2003. The physics are more so based off of the 2003, 2004, 2002 design of the NASCAR Cup Series cars. So not as much about dirty air back then as it is now, especially with, you know, the big chutes on the front end of this car that shoot air to the sides to make it for slipstreaming down the down the straightaways. And that, of course, not a big deal here at Richmond. Is these top 4 are really close together, Tommy.
Yeah, I was going to say that, Joe. I have 2 things to mention. Number 1, how close these 4 cars are, including Garrett Sidnor, who's worked his way back up at the front, and Cal Laval looking for the lead on Davey Hazard. That 75 car's been pretty good on short runs, but not so in the long ones. Looks like that UPS Ford trying to look for the lead here, coming into 50 to go soon here at Richmond.
Yeah, and he looks in his rearview mirror and he sees that 16 coming, trying to move his way up into 3rd. So Cal takes the 1st position. Davey's going to slide back to 2nd. But where'd Garrett go?
Garrett having issues, I think.
Internet issues?
Looking for that 16 car. Yeah,
He is not on track right now.
there could be some transponder issues, unfortunately for him, as we go to 50 laps to go. That 16 car, who's been dominating all night long, um, fortunately having some issues.
And,
Looks like he's back now, Joe.
and now I'm having issues. We're having some issues, JTN issues here. Oh boy.
Yeah, this issue has happened a couple times recently here. I'll give you the radio play-by-play as Joe tries to reconnect to the server. Right now, it's the number 12 of Cal Lavelle. Out in front of Davey Hazard by a few tenths, says we have a caution out on the track. It looks like it's going to be a caution for could be debris out on track for these drivers. And yeah, a number of people having issues connecting to the server. That's something that you have in esports. Unfortunately, the internet is not a definitive sometimes for these drivers. So unfortunately for that, that's going to impact our race here tonight. But what this does do is take out fuel out of the equation. At this point, everybody's going to be able to make it on a fuel if they pit again. So it was going to be close on the last time, but right now, not so much of an issue. And the top three here at Richmond, the number 12 of Cal Laval, followed by the 75 of Davey Hazard, and the 16 of Garrett Sidnor.
And of course, I want to apologize for the issues. We had a fell out of the server, so that's not good here on our end. So Tommy, thank you so much for taking us through radio. We're gonna try to get you video feedback here in a second. Oh boy, not a way you want to start with broadcasting the United States Online Racing League. Is looks like there might have been some contact on the front end of pit road.
Yeah, I think, Joe, looking back at what happened, it was the number 2 car of Alex Suford, unfortunately, in the Roland number 2 machine. Tough night for him. He's involved in a couple different things, and unfortunately, that's going to end up having to make the 2 car retire from tonight's event.
And a tough break for the 2 team here. Tough break for all these guys. Another caution coming out. Sorry, I'm trying to get my wits about me right now.
Yeah, we got cars coming out pit road, guys. Looks like everybody's going to come down. They want those 4 fresh tires. Actually, Joe, we didn't run too long. Does a guy further back in the pack possibly take 2 tires to get some track position? And we saw Cal Lavelle. I mean, he was kind of hanging around maybe 5th, 4th all night. Once he found his way up front there, Joe, he was pulling away from Hazard just a little bit before that yellow came out. Do you risk the 2-tire strategy with less than 50 to go?
I don't think you can, because it's just, you know, everyone is going to be taken 4. At least, you know, those top 2 guys are definitely going to be taken 4. Davey, his car has lost the handling on a longer run. He's going to want 4 tires. But, I mean, if you're towards the back, I can see it, but I don't think it's the right move, as Davey's going to take the lead off the pit road, followed by Cal, Garrett, and Steven Merzlak.
Well, perhaps it's a good thing that they listened to you and not to me, because it looks like everybody took 4 tires on that stop. As we get to the closing stages of this race, Joe, it's been a long one, but boy, the laps have ticked off fast, because we've had a lot of green flag running, which has been fantastic for us and the viewers at home, as well as these drivers.
Yeah, and a lot of these drivers weren't very confident in their own abilities. They were saying it was going to be a wreck fest, but I didn't think we were playing wreck fest in the first place. These guys have done a great job. A lot of green flag action here for the debut of the USORL Red Bull Cup Series, round of 10. I'm JoeTowNetwork, Tommy Bordeaux. We're going to take you through these closing laps of this race, 200 laps here at the Richmond Raceway.
Yeah, 200 laps and more if necessary. We do have green-white checkered finishes possible here in the USORL Cup Series, sponsored by Red Bull. So we're going to have an exciting finish anyway you slice it, I think. We have a lot of great cars up and towards the front right now. Cal Lavelle on the outside, Davey Hazard taking the lead back in pit road again. Boy, that 75 PTR crew, pretty good. I sure wish I had that kind of pit stop for my pit crew members, but unfortunately, maybe that's not always the case. But boy, that 75 team, really strong on pit road tonight.
As they come into the restart zone.
Here at Richmond.
Yeah, Davey, another great launch in that 75 car. He's going to skate out to the lead, but don't look now. Here comes Garrett Sidner in that 16.
I got to tell you what.
Oh, 3 wide, 3 wide. Sorry there, Tommy. It looked like we were going to have a big moment. The 20 might have made contact with the 4, and the 24 was looking to his inside, so Gotta get all these positions while you can on these restarts while we're still close together.
Like the 12 got a little loose there too. And for the 16 of Garrett, of course, that's a great opportunity for him to catch the 75. He got around the 12 car, so did Cam Barnes in the 20, but wow, this race, I mean, it's provided a lot of entertainment.
As you see Davey going back and forth. Oh! He made contact! Oh! 16 hard in the wall! Oh my god!
And that has serious playoff implications. Two of the fastest cars on track involved in an accident. The 75 car looks like he just got hooked by the 16.
Yeah, it looks like the 16 might have went Superman down into that corner thinking that the 75 was going to go a little deeper, but you can't make contact like that with the car in front of you. It's going to send you both around here at Richmond.
Yeah, and obviously that wasn't anything intentional. I mean, it's not like we're within 5 laps to go or anything. Just an unfortunate accident there, but wow, that's really disappointing. Both of those cars, two of the best we've seen all night. Besides Cal Lavelle, I mean, those are like the only two, and of course Cam Barnes now that he's the beneficiary of that yellow. Those are the only two cars that have really led the majority of this race, so that has huge implications on the playoff standings as well.
As you see the onboard from the 16 machine, he just got down into the corner a lot harder than the 75 did, and he just ran him over. So tough break for Davey, and tough break for Garrett in the 16. They've both been so fast, two best cars out there all night. But you hate to see it, especially for these guys.
Yeah, that 16 car was so fast. He's been so fast all night long. I think once he was kind of stuck back in the field a little bit, he finally got back up to the bumper of the 75, and then, well, you saw what happened on screen right there. Unfortunate for both those drivers, because now they're going to have to come from the back and try and work their way up through the field again.
Yeah, and we saw Cam Barnes, you said he was the leader, but he came to pit road, so again, we saw him do that earlier in the race, and it's kind of troubling because we didn't even have a whole lap of green flag racing, or maybe, we had a lap or two, so those tires couldn't have been too old on that car. We see the 4 and the 51, they're going to stay out here, take the lead, and Cal Laval, Ray Tustin there line up on the second row.
Well, so this is a pretty interesting front row right here, Joe. We haven't seen this one all night long, really. So good for these two guys to get an opportunity to see if they can take advantage of that good track position and pull away a little bit. Of course, I mentioned earlier in this broadcast, Stephen Merzlak with a birthday just yesterday, so a fellow July birthday guy. And green flag is back out at Richmond.
And we've seen all night long the leader just gets a great jump, so Merzlak's going to be your leader, and Cal Laval's going to take over that second position.
Well, that 12 car's been super fast. I got to say, take a look at Jesse Dalton on the inside. That 99 car to the top 3 right now is Cam Barnes and those fresh tires is looking to the inside of him.
As you see, the 4 is going to be the leader. Cam Barnes, and now Davey Hazard is going to move up into the 4th position. So Davey getting a quick recovery here, trying to get back to the front, and you see some roof damage on that 75 machine.
Yeah, that's going to be tough, although he's made his way back up to the top 4 very, very rapidly. And that's something that we're used to seeing with Davey Hazard. When he gets set back, he just climbs back up on, and he pretty much just finds his way to the front any way he can. He's so quick about it, too. So I'll tell you what, that 75 car, don't count him out quite yet. Same with the 16 car. He's not quite back in the top 5 yet, but we know he has a fast machine. As long as there's not too much damage, he's still got a shot at this. But boy, the laps are kind of ticking down, Joe.
Yeah, I'd like to apologize again to that 2 team for missing their paint scheme. Apparently it was uploaded in March, so big apologies to Alex and that whole 2 crew for missing that. But Steve Merzlak in this 4, he's doing a great job taking advantage of the misfortune of the 16 and the 75, leading this race here at Richmond.
Yeah, look at that number 4 car out in the lead. Steve Merzlak doing a good job right now. Though that 12 car is moving up, and so is that 20 of Cam Barnes. Hey, remember I mentioned Cam Barnes? I said if he could be patient and be there at the end, he is fast and he has a shot at the win. Right now he's done a great job as he makes the move for second. He might have a shot at it.
Yeah, Cam, he's a really aggressive driver. I wouldn't put him on the same pedestal as like a Noah Gregson, but oh boy, the driver of that 20 sometimes can be really aggressive, especially towards the end of the race. He's got to make it there, though. He's got a strong car underneath him this evening.
Yeah, if you're Stephen Merzlak, you know who that is in your rearview mirror. You're just trying to keep calm, You know, you got a fast race car yourself too, although he looks like he has a little bit of damage on that machine as well from an earlier incident. So yeah, we'll have to see how that plays out. Of course, PTR set up under that car as well, same as Davey Hazard is. Speaking of Davey Hazard, struggling right now back there in fourth.
Well, that's definitely got to be a consequence of that wreck, as you see the 51 gets really loose on the bottom. That's going to allow Davey to kind of etch away, and the 16 of Garrett Sidner is going to look to his outside.
Pretty incredible that that 16 of Garrett Sidnor up front basically all night long and how quickly things have turned. Still yet to crack into the top 5 after that incident. You know he's got to be so frustrated after leading that many laps. I've been in that position before. I know you have as well, so it's a tough one.
I don't know about leading laps on my end, but I've been up towards the front throughout a race and had things go wrong. As we see the 51 again closing in on the 75. We talked about how Davey gets a really great run off of corners. Doesn't go as deep into the corners, so we're seeing again the 51 able to close the gap going in, but then Davey just does a great job running off.
Davey just trying to will everything he can out of that car as best as he does. I mean, that's a classic Davey Hazard move, just trying to get everything he can. But right now, hey, that 4 car of Steven Merzlak is pulling away just a little bit.
And I guess those fresh tires on that 20 car really aren't paying the dividends that I think he would have hoped for them to do, because he would have been the leader here on this restart, but Steve took that, and he's run with it so far. Still your leader here. And he was your leader coming into this race in points.
Really impressive for that 4 car. He's got a couple wins on the season. You can see some winner sticker above that name rail there. Pretty impressive for that 4 car, got to say. Steven Merzlak, like I mentioned, birthday boy yesterday. Boy, would that be a great late birthday present for him to get a win here out of Richmond as we're closing in on just 25 laps left.
It's going to be tough for these guys to catch him. That clean air really doing good for that 14, but again, you see a little bit of damage up on the... Is it damage on the roof maybe, or maybe it's the end of the number? Sometimes I can't tell.
No, it looks like damage to me. I think there might be something going on up there, which could be from a multiple number of sources. We've had cars flying in the air, rolling.
Oh, 20 in the wall.
Oh, Cam Barnes hard in the wall.
Hard in the wall. That's going to definitely hurt the downforce on that right front. He hits the yellow line there, and that gets him loose through the center. See, the 51 has moved into 4th. Garrett Sidner has moved up into the top 5, followed by Trey Coleman and Davey Hazard starting to fall back due to that damage from that incident.
The 20 car might be on the back foot right now with Red Hot Chili Peppers on the front of that car. His tires might be feeling like Red Hot Chili Peppers. Looks like there's definitely a lack of grip going on for that 20 car. As Cal Lavelle looking for that second spot, and he might just get it right here.
And he does. He makes the pass, and now the 51 of Steelman looks to the inside, can't get it done, but Cam's really close in there.
Really tight. Look at that. Matt Steelman getting challenged there by Garrett Sidnor.
Sidner drifts up the track. Steelman, big moment there on the outside, gets loose. Give the position to Garrett Sidner.
So while Sidner has moved up a couple spots as well as...
Oh, Trey Coleman around.
Oh, and that's going to bring out a yellow, I think.
I don't know.
So far, we stay green. That might have been just one car.
Yeah, it
We've
was.
Before with Coleman earlier in the race.
He got really loose going into the corner, and the tire slid. What did we say, Tommy, about making mistakes so late in the race?
It hurts you. It hurts you every time. Yeah, looks like looking at the replay there, that's exactly what happened.
Oh, Sidner! Oh, no! Oh!
And that's got huge implications there. We stay green. Able to
get 51 in the wall. Oh my God.
Incredible developments in just a couple laps here at Richmond.
Big implications. You called it the play oofs, but oh boy, we got a couple big oofs here towards the end of this race. Can't make mistakes this late in a race, especially at Richmond.
Joe, before all this went down, there must be oil on the track or something. Some car must have laid something down. That's incredible.
That is absolutely incredible. Have you ever?
Well, a couple of times, but I gotta say, not recently.
Come on, Tommy, just throw me a bone.
I've never, Joe. I've never.
But with all that being said, Merzlak, he's been able to extend his lead just a little bit here. Doing a great job keeping all 4 tires under him, but I'm going to be interested to see if this 12 car maybe cools off his tires a little bit, runs easy for a couple laps, and tries to make a push here at the end of the race.
Joe, we got 20 laps to go. Going to be 19 this time by. We'll see how the lap times compare. That time by, Merzlak with a 20.8. And Cal Lovall with a 20.822. So Merge pulling just a little bit that time by. I gotta say that 4 car, if he can stay out front, that could be a good one.
We're now getting
We got
reports that the 33 and the 2 were laying oil down, but that was like 100 laps ago, so how did these USORL officials, cleanup crew, miss that? Oh boy.
I don't know, Joe. It's pretty unbelievable. I know it's hard. The lack of staff, given the current situation, is definitely taking a toll on who has eyes on the track. But boy, something like that really has some huge implications. As we certainly saw here.
Well, you see, there's no grandstands even here. They took the grandstands down to deter people from showing up. So this 12 car though, Cal Lovall trying to make a move for the lead, but I don't know if he's gonna be able to get there. He's really running hard down into the corners.
And he's got to at this point. I mean, Joe, we're coming up on just 16 to go that time by for Steven Merzlak. Boy, what a crazy race this has been, and what a fantastic win that would be for Merzlak, who all night long has kind of hung out in the top 5, but really hasn't shown the leading pace. But of course, if the leaders keep wrecking and spinning out, it fell to him, and now he's out in front with just 15 to go.
Well, what does that say? Sometimes, for so long, Kevin Harvick, driver in the Cup Series, all these wins, all these awards, he's always known as the closer. He closed out races. Could we be seeing Steven Merzlak becoming the closer of the United States Online Racing League?
He's done it a couple times in other races. He's been very lucky. He even said earlier today when talking about the playoffs that, quote, he's been more lucky than good sometimes. And I don't know, you got to have some kind of skill, certainly, to be able to take advantage of that luck. I think he might have been short-selling himself just a little bit, but going into this race, talking to him beforehand, he was nervous as well. Really nervous. So you know that 4 car experiencing a lot of emotion right now. If only he could win this race, lock himself into the round of 8, especially a day after his birthday, that'd be huge for this McDonald's crew.
Well, that'd be a great birthday present for him and the team. For everyone on board that 4 machine, a great looking paint scheme this evening. Still your leader here at Richmond. Doing a great job just starting to pull the gap again on the 12 car.
I'm pretty sure it's an MF Doom car is what he's running on there, as far as I know.
That's more than I know, because I know nothing.
Well, here's what I do know, Joe. That 4 car is pulling away now from Cal Lovall.
Ooh, 78 up in the wall, right in front of the 4. Sorry. That was scary. I'm so sorry. That was a really scary moment there. You saw the 78 up in the wall. Don't know if maybe he was laying oil down, but he's going to start letting these leaders go on by.
Well, something that we certainly can't pass by, Joe, and that's that TWB 10 to go. Ladies and gentlemen, coming this fall, a new company providing services and products for users all over the world. It's TWB. TWB, let's do this together. Look out for TWB.com on the web coming this fall, and also check out TommyBordeaux.com for more information on Tommy Bordeaux, your broadcaster, yours truly, here of the JTN crew for more information. Well, Joe, it's past 10 to go now. I took up a little bit too much time on that one, but it doesn't matter because don't tell that to Steven Merzlak. He wants there to be 1 to go. Right now, pulling away from Cal Lovall, and the last thing he wants to see, Joe, is a yellow.
Yeah, he just wants these guys to keep it clean for 8 or so more laps, keep all 4 tires underneath his car, and just smooth sailing on in the end. I mean, Richmond ain't that close to the ocean, but hey, if you can get a boat out there, that's what you got to do. But it's a McDonald's car. I don't want to jinx him, but when's the last time a McDonald's car won?
It's been a while. Mr. Excitement himself, Jimmy Spencer, was the last driver to do that in Cup Series competition in NASCAR. We could see something significant tonight with that 4 car. Not only would he win at Richmond and advance himself to that round of 8, but winning in a McDonald's car the day after his birthday, like we've mentioned all night long, how cool that would be.
It would be a great accomplishment for him and all the guys at PTR. You saw the 75 of Davey Hazard. His teammate was so strong, and I think Davey's back up into the top 5 here. So rebounding after that tough break with the 16, kind of getting too aggressive down into the corner. But if PTR can get these 2 cars in the top 5, it's going to be a great night for all you guys back at the shop.
It certainly would be. And Joe, another guy who's having a very quiet night. I don't want you to focus on him because we jinxed him earlier in the night, but that 24 car of Darren Ingram spun out earlier, some contact with the wall, but right now running solidly in 4th place. That's really going to help his playoff chances already. He's uh, very, I'd say, quite comfortable on points heading into Kansas next week. Um, after a very tough first round that he had, but able to scrape by just fine. So far, that 24 car looking pretty good as we just have 4 laps to go now.
Yeah, as you see, Merzlak's going to be coming up on some tougher lap traffic. 14 to Trey Coleman. Tough night for our Autosim driver spotlight on the wheel of that 14. You can check out Autosim in the link in the description below to download the game. You can also check out videos right here on this YouTube channel to see what the game's all about. Merzlak looking to the inside. He'll make the pass pretty easy here on lap traffic.
Yeah, Trey Coleman, unfortunately, not the kind of night that he started out with. Certainly, he was very fast in qualifying, starting on that outside pole. Another guy who started up front, of course, in that front row is the 16 of Garrett Sidnor, and things have gone south for him quite a bit. He's back in 7th now. Noah Joyce has recovered to 6th place. Very nice run for that 39 car after rolling a few times in turn 3 earlier in the race.
Yeah, and it really needed that rebound. He was outside the top 8 in points heading into this event, so getting any positions, any points that you can right now is a big deal. 2 to go here at Richmond.
Well, Joe, this is going to be the last lap. White flag is out for that 4 car. Heading out of turn number 2, that's Steven Merzlak. Yesterday was his birthday, and he had such a great day yesterday that he came to this track wanting to win. He was nervous, but he's going to do it. Happy birthday, Steven Merzlak, winner here at Richmond. Incredible.
Absolutely fantastic. So sorry for misspeaking there. 200 out of 200 laps here at Richmond. Congratulations to Steve. We're going to get him up in the booth here in a quick minute. You see everyone congratulating him on track. We're gonna.
What a fantastic finish! What a race we had, Joe. I mean, we had a lot of different leaders lead for a long amount of time. We had Garrett Sidnor early. We had Davey Hazard in the middle. Sidnor again. Cam Barnes for a little bit, and then staying out on that last pit stop, Steven Merzlak took the lead away and just ran away with it. Incredible performance. Really great job by that number 4 car. He was hung around the top 5 all night long, and Joe, he deserves this win. A great guy. Fantastic that he could win for a late birthday present, and a good-looking car. McDonald's in Victory Lane here at Richmond.
Yeah, great job by him. We're going to see him burn it down here at Richmond real quick as we start to get the radios set up to talk to him as well as the rest of our podium finishers here at the Richmond Raceway. Congratulations, Mr. Merzlak, on your win. Happy birthday. We'll get you up here in the booth pretty quickly.
Yeah, Joe, while we're waiting for that, let me run through the finishing order here. In first place, of course, in that number 4, PTR McDonald's Toyota, sponsored by MF Doom. Steven Merzlak, your birthday boy and winner here at Richmond. In second place, the number 12 of Cal Laval driving the UPS Ford, followed by Darren Ingram, the second, with a fantastic third place finish and great recovery for him tonight. In fourth place, Cam Barnes in the 20 car, followed by the number 75 of Davey Hazard. After a tough finish for him last week at Talladega, rebounds to a top 5 tonight. Noah Joyce in the 39 recovers from flipping early to finish 6th, and Garrett Sidnor, after a great early race for him, comes away with 7th place. Ray Tustin in the 18. In 8th place, Jesse Dalton in 9th. Rounding out the top 10, Matt Steelman in the 51 car. Trey Coleman, after starting on the front row, finishes 11th, followed by DJ Harris, Alex Sufert, John Peterson, Jack Healey, Jeff Dixon in the 2nd, Michael Morata, Zach Krostowski, and Jamie Zalecki, rounding out the field in 19th.
As we head on over to the broadcast booth, or to get our radios set up over, we're going to get Steven Merzlak in here along with Cal Laval and
Darren Ingram.
And Darren Ingram with a great recovery for that 24 team. So give us just a quick second here. We're going to get your driver interviews so that way they get a chance to talk with us. As we'll bring the birthday boy down. Well, day after birthday boy down.
Sound muted.
You know that's got to feel special. I mean, I've won on my birthday before, and near my birthday at least, and boy, it's a good feeling. I'll tell you what, I'm sure he's over the moon right now.
All right, let's bring him in here. Hopefully he's not talking with his team still. What do you think? 3, 2, 1. Happy birthday, Mr. Merzlak. Congratulations on your win here at Richmond. I mean, I know it's a day late, but it's got to feel good to win at Richmond.
Of course. I didn't really race on my proper birthday, but having something like this on the day after when it matters, it's awesome.
Well, you did such a great job throughout the night. You know, you're up there in the top 5, really just staying out of trouble. What does it mean to, get this win and move on to the round of 8?
Well, personally, Kansas ain't one of my best tracks, so to come here to a track like Richmond, where I've usually run pretty well, and to finally pull something off here is awesome. It's short tracks have always been my forte, so to notch a win in another one of these, it's always a great feeling.
Steven, you've had a great season so far. This is Tommy up in the booth. Before the race, you mentioned you were nervous about this one. Should you have been nervous? Because once you got out in front, you just pulled away from Cal Laval.
Well, I think the nervousness helps because it usually keeps your mind on the same track, and it helps you focus on the task at hand. Kind of if you let your mind wander, it might not give you the same performance. So yeah, I think it can play in my favor, but to dwell on it, it might not end well. But having that sort of factor there can help me be more successful.
Well, you're on to the round of 8. What do you got to do next week at Kansas to try to get some more bonus points to make that run to the Final Four even easier for you?
Well, at least lead a lap, just hang around and let the field do its thing and see if I can salvage a top 5. Kansas, I've not had the best record there, so we'll see if we can turn it around next week.
And again, congratulations on your win. Before we let you go, anyone you want to thank for all our viewers at home?
I would like to thank Davey Hazard for helping me out in the garage, giving me setups, giving me feedback on what I'm supposed to do. And I'd like to thank McDonald's for sticking with me through such a tumultuous season with them on the hood. I'd like to thank them for the collaboration with MF Doom, all caps when you spell the man name. And I also lost the game. Yeah, it feels nice to get another win, have a breakout season like this.
And again, congratulations on your win. Happy belated birthday. Amazing paint scheme tonight, and you always do amazing work on your cars.
Thank you.
All right, and that was Mr. Steven Merzlik, driver of the number 4 for PTR. We're going to get our next podium finisher in here. That would be Mr. Cal Laval. Tommy, I'm going to say it right eventually.
I'm sure. I think I messed it up a few times tonight too. But I'll tell you what, second place here for that 12 car. Let's bring him on in.
Oh boy. See, you can tell we're getting used to this. Driver of the number 12 UPS Ford Mustang, Mr. Cal Laval. Congratulations on your second place finish, bud.
Thank you very much. Thanks for broadcasting.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, it was a great race to broadcast. You had some up and downs throughout the event. Talk about how you had to come back to get that second place finish.
Yeah, the outside was slick all night and got loose that one time. Got hit by Davey. No, wasn't his fault. It was my fault. Well, it was slick out there, so it was bound to happen eventually, I guess. But I figured it out, and it was kind of tough getting back up there because it was hard to pass. Inside groove is only do better next week at Kansas.
Yeah, and hopefully you can't get it better at Kansas next week. I mean, you're looking really good on points to try to move on to that round of 8. Is next week at Kansas, is it just making sure you don't make any mistakes to make sure you move on?
I think it's just having fun. Pretty sure we're locked on points now, so we just want to win and have more points going into the next round.
Yeah, Cal, you're a two-time Cup Series champion here in USORL. How much would a third championship mean to you?
That would mean a lot. Yeah. I just hate it for my guys that I couldn't get the win tonight.
We've all been there.
And before we let you go, again, congratulations on your second place finish. Anyone you want to shout out, talk to, say thanks to, the floor is yours.
Well, like I said, thanks to you guys for doing this for this league. It was our first broadcasted race, so it means a lot to us. It means a lot to me. So thank you all.
And thank you so much for putting on a great show. Great drive tonight. Go get them next week at Kansas. Get those bonus points to hopefully make your case for the Final Four even better.
Thank you, guys.
That was Mr. Cal Laval, driver of the number 12 UPS Ford Mustang. Tommy, do you want to introduce our next man and bring him in here?
Absolutely. Joe in third place after a thrilling run, I gotta say. A fantastic recovery from some early incidents. It's no other man than, of course, Darren Ingram II, driving the number 24 car tonight here at Richmond. A fantastic paint scheme using those all-star numbers. Let's bring him into the booth, Joe.
And again, driver, the number 24 with that beautiful all-star black and gold paint scheme, Mr. Darren Ingram II. Welcome to the booth. Congratulations on your third place finish, Darren. Oh boy.
Might have some audio issues right now with that 24 team. Of course, everything being electronically done for these interviews.
We wait.
Yep,
Hey, there he is.
I'm alive, man. I didn't expect to be in here after this race. Not at all.
Well, there was one point in the race we were watching. We had you up on the screen talking about how good of a driver, how great you were doing, and then you spun out. How'd you manage to come back and finish third?
And that car, I don't know. There was something evil in that car tonight. It just did not handle no matter what. No matter what adjustment we did, it just nothing made it better. And we finally caught some breaks. There was a couple of incidents. I think I spun around about 3 or 4 times tonight. Not happy with a couple of people, but it's racing. But I don't know. That last run came, and I just started pushing like hell, and it paid off, I guess.
And it definitely did pay off. You got up to third. You're gonna have a decent cushion on the bubble. You might even be locked in. I don't want to make up the minds of these USORL officials, but what does it mean, being in a really good position next week at Kansas to try to make your way into the round of 8?
Oh, it's nice. It's great. Instead of usually on these rounds, I'm used to just being on the bubble or being on the outside looking in. So I think I've got something like a 14 or 15 point gap to the cutoff. You can just go into the race a lot more relaxed. Just knowing that as long as you just survive and get a decent finish, you're probably going to be safe. It makes it a little easier to maybe go for a strategy call at the end of the race, try to get the win. Gain some extra playoff points. Because that always helps, going into that next round. You don't want to count your chicks before they hatch, but having as many points as you can is going to be it's going to be a nice luxury to have. So if you can get 2 more playoff points, I'm definitely going to do everything that I can to get those 2 more points.
Yep, Darren, right now you are 4th in the point standings, 14 to the good, to that cut line, making the round of 8. Unfortunately for me in ARCA, but fortunately for you here tonight, you battle back from adversity very well. And you complain about a bad race car and end up finishing 3rd here tonight. It's incredible. You do such a great job behind the wheel, and well deserving of that 3rd place, I got to say, especially for that early incident. Well done tonight. We're really proud of you. And I'm happy to see you up in this booth, I got to say.
Yeah, I like being up here. I want to get interviewed after every race. Hopefully 2 steps higher next time, which I think we can. we were bad past Kansas last season, lost because of pit strategy, but I think we're gonna have some race winning speed at Kansas. So I'm excited for all the TLRI boys next week in Kansas.
And before we let you go, again, congratulations on your 3rd place finish. Anyone you want to shout out, thank for all our viewers at home?
Exalta, they're with me on everything, on every car, in every league. It seems like OVO for hopping on board tonight. We had the special number placement tonight. Maybe made some people mad, but I just want to finish off my career here at TLRI strong. Thanks for Zach with the opportunity for these past 2 seasons, and I'm gonna try to go get him a big trophy to keep in the shop.
And again, congratulations on your 3rd place finish, battling back from adversity. Go get him next week at Kansas. You should be pretty good on points, so go get those bonus points. That was Darren Ingram, driver of the number 24 machine. Tommy, while you got the moment, sum up this race for all our viewers at home.
Incredible. That's the only word I have to describe it, Joe. A lot of green flag running, and for Richmond, a track that sometimes can have a lot of yellows, it was impressive what these guys were able to do. We did have a lot of adversity for these chase guys, and Joe, I'm taking a look at the points right now. After your thoughts, I'm going to take a little bit of a dive through and to give the fans an update on what things are going to look like next week at Kansas.
Yeah, and it was just a great race all around. These guys, a lot of them were worried about cautions and having a caution-filled race, but it didn't end up being that way. You saw the first 50 laps were pretty hectic, but we got some great green flag action throughout the event. Tommy, go ahead and read the points for our viewers.
Well, of course, after his incredible win tonight, Steven Merzlak, the birthday boy, is locked into the next round of 8. Round of 8. Followed by Cal Lavelle right now, 4 points back from Steven. He looks to be good on points, locked into that next round. Behind him is Garrett Sidnor, 10 points back in third place. Dan Ingram, like I said, 13 points back to do to find their way back into the top 8. So right now, guys, Joyce Barnes, Hazard, Coleman, Ingram, Sidnor, Laval, and Merzlak. Your 8 moving on. As we head into Kansas next week, we have an opportunity for sure for Jeff Dixon to win. He's fast everywhere. Zach Krasowski, I mean, he's only, 8 points back. A lot of things can happen. It's going to be a very interesting race next week.
And it's going to be a hectic race. We're going to be on the call again next week. We'll be going live at 10:40 to take you through the starting lineup through your point situation there. Again, we'll remind you of that. We'll also be live Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time for the Fast Mountain Dew Dash Series. So join us then if you enjoyed the coverage tonight. We hope to bring you another action-packed race at Rockingham for those guys in their Xfinity Dash Series machines. Tommy, thank you so much for joining me here. I'm so proud that we're able to do this for all our viewers at home for this league. And, yeah, we're going to have a great time next week, aren't we?
We sure are, Joe, and I want to remind the viewers that, of course, it's the Spongebob-themed race next week at Kansas, so expect a lot of more fun paint schemes out there, and I want to give a big shout-out to all the fans watching at home, especially my family, my brother Henry, and my mom and dad watching. Thank you so much for tuning in to everybody here at JTN, and Joe, thank you for another great opportunity here in the booth and for the whole USORL family, and John Peterson for allowing us to do what we do.
Yeah, and what we do, we try to make it better every week, so keep joining us. We'll keep getting better. We'll keep bringing the action, keep bringing the fun, the entertainment, the excitement here on JTN. You can give us a subscribe here on YouTube. I'm Joe Twansky. And then also go to that Facebook link, give us a like over there. We'll post whenever we're going live. For Tommy Bordeaux and everyone here at JTN, I'm Joe Twansky. We will see you guys hopefully Tuesday night for the Dash Series race, and if not, we'll see you next week on Saturday night, 10:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the next round of the United States Online Racing League Red Bull Cup Series from Kansas. Thank you so much for making this broadcast a fun time in the chat. We love to see it, and we'll see you then, guys. Thank you so much again. I'm going to say it 100 times before we go, most likely, but you guys don't know how much this means to me. Tommy, you don't know how much it means to me. Give us a like here. Give us a subscribe. Whatever you want to do to show your support. We love it. And we'll see you next week at the Kansas